and work hard and choose to be different. Grow up and lead this nation out of this madness. You can do it. And I'm prophesying to you, Osbert. I'm prophesying to you, Osbert. Hallelujah. And to the other candidates as well. God's gonna turn things around for you. He's a good father. He's a good father. Hallelujah. Can we sing Good Father? Hallelujah.
I heard 1,000 stories of what they think you like, but I've heard a tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. I've seen many searching for answers far and wide. I know we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word.
Come on now.
You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I
That's
am.
my identity.
It's who I
That's
am.
my identity.
It's who I am.
I've been loved by Jesus. I've been loved by mighty God, creator of the universe. Even if your mother has rejected, or your father has died, or your father has been dead, you have a father.
It's who I am. Perfect. And you're perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways.
As a nation,
You are perfect in all of your
God
ways.
is our father,
You
Kenya.
are perfect in all of your ways.
Republicans,
You are perfect
is the
in
father of
all
this
of
nation.
your ways. To us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. So undeniable light, I can hardly speak. Peace so unexplainable light, I can hardly feel as you hold me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still into love, love. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. To us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of
when I was very little. I followed him everywhere. Then he retired from the military and started a business. And he became so horrible. Horrible. He would yell at any mistake. And literally would hear his car at the gate and would just flee from dear life. He was always, it's like he had chili up somewhere, but he was so angry. So what I kept doing is trying to go and sit with him, to talk to him, but he had this mean face, and you'd be like, you're disturbing me and stuff. And eventually what I did, because he was hurting me so badly, and he didn't even tell me anything. We were very close. Then the next minute, he was just being mean to everyone and pushing us all away. Looking back, I realized he was stressed about feeding his children. He was stressed about all the business issues that were going on. So I went on my knees for my dad. And I started asking God, could you just deal with my dad? And the Lord said, leave him at my feet. I'll fix him and give him back to you. And it felt like a really long time. I remember at one point I was doing exams, my 4th form exams, and Dad was just being mean all the time and shouting. He wouldn't hit, but man, he would throw words. And one day I told him, if I failed my Form 4 exams, it's because of you. Why do you have to keep talking to us like that? I remember one of my brothers telling him, this is not a military camp. And my brother was just kicked out. And that's how we ended up not knowing my brother for really, he was pretty alienated. He was kicked out, but he was kicked out to our farm. So he wasn't like kicked out and had nowhere to go. But my dad had this thing where he would kick you out. And the interesting thing is, even I eventually got kicked out. It was just, I couldn't get it. So, you try and see my brothers working to the bone. The beauty is that it made them the most hardworking men ever. But man, in our house, it was like we were always trying to get Dad to love us, to say well done, to say good job. I finally got married, and he completely rejected my husband. How can you get married to a Luo? I'm disinheriting you. Were you not alive when Wamboyotino was all? And I said, it's okay, Dad. I understand when you disinherit me. And I said, God will give me my own things. And I began to work so hard to prove to him, you are not my source. But I was angry and hurt. Remember, after I got married, I just stayed away from him. And let me tell you how scary my dad was. You can sit down for a little bit. And my dad was so scary that when I got married, after the honeymoon night, then we just had one night of honeymoon. We couldn't afford anything else, and it was a voucher. The day that we moved into our little Mabati house, I woke up suddenly, and I woke up scared. I literally sat up, and my husband asked me, did you get a nightmare? I said, no. And I said, I overslept. He said, what do you mean you overslept? Because my dad, you'd hear, if you slept beyond 7 a.m., you'd hear, Catherine out, Pauline out, Tony out, Susan out. That's how he used to command us. Get out. And you say, I'm not a donkey. He used to say donkey. I'm not a donkey to be the one who's working when the rest of you are sleeping. The beauty is, he trained us to work hard. But in the meantime, I got to know God as a father. He filled that void so much that I didn't even notice when my dad began to change. And let me tell you, God fixed my dad so good. So good. And he used the craziest of things. When I went to take him to India, I remember asking, why would I be the one taking my dad to India? I'm a girl. And he's having surgery for his, for his shoulder, where he had, broken some tendons. And I wasn't told, but later I found out it was him who said, I'm going with Catherine. And later I found out that he thought he would die under the knife. He'd not wake up. And so when he looked around at who he would like to die around, he chose me. And let me tell you, we prayed for Dad until they were finding nothing. They kept telling him, are you really this age, in your 70s? No condition whatsoever. Even the ones doctors had told him that he needs a pacemaker. And in India, my dad learned to submit to me. And I don't mean submit to me like I don't know what, but remember, I was nursing him. And we shared and we talked. And I remember 5 years ago, my dad told me, my only regret in life is that I was too harsh on you people. And I just thought, okay, apology accepted. And I asked him, why were you like that? And he didn't explain much. But with time I got to learn, his father was a very harsh man. Such a harsh man. By the way, when I finally let go of my dad, at around, because I knew I have to live my life, I can't follow him. One of the things God told me is, considering the kind of home your father came from, he really did good. And I thought, for the first time, my dad is happy in heaven. I don't know what your parent is doing to you and why the Lord has led me to give this testimony. But let God fill that void and pray for them. Our parents have such secrets. Forgive your father who ran away the moment your mother got pregnant. I was watching a Christian movie the other day, and this guy walked out on the daughter and the mother. And she was tapping on the window, and she's waving and she's crying. And she thought he'd turn back and remember, I have a daughter. He stared at her, and then he walked away. You know, that man was living on the streets. And at some point, they end up connecting with the daughter, but temporarily. It's like God lets him come to say goodbye in a very strange way. She rescues him from the streets. And he starts giving his story as the girl is saying, my father